Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me start by saying everything Jim Porter was talking about in terms of protecting this freedom and the NRA, every single one of you here in this room today deserves congratulations for. And folks just like you all over the country, you're the ones that made all that possible. You're the ones that make it possible for us every day to defend this freedom. It's people like you sitting out there right now, but in your heart are determined not to lose this American freedom that make all this possible. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You do it, and you do it every single day. Thank you. And it's really great to be here with you this morning to celebrate this freedom and to look ahead to the future of our association and also look to the future of our country. Sad thing is, we gather today at a time, if you look around our country, where there's great anxiety and there's concern wherever you go. All across this country, and I'm out there every week on the road somewhere, people come up to me and they look at me and they say, Wayne, I've never been more worried about my country than right now. And they say it not with anger in their eyes, but they say it with a sadness. They're sad because they feel their core values. They feel their freedom in this country that they love so much. They feel like it's slipping away. They see the economy staggering and limping along, and they lay awake at night, and they worry about their jobs, and they worry about their families. They fear for the future of their children. In a nation where almost everywhere you look, in profoundly troubling ways, freedom has been diminished. Our right to gather, our right to speak, our financial freedom, our right to care for our families as we see fit, our religious freedom, our right to privacy, all of it in decline. Health care, I don't have to tell you, it's a regulatory nightmare now. Our southern border, and I've been down there, many of you live there, is ruled by drug cartels and human traffickers that are infiltrating every American city and infecting our entire country. Tax policies chip away at our ability to provide. Foreign policies are littered with failures, from Russia to the Crimea to Asia to a burning Middle East. We see terrorists bomb offices, attack delis, commit mass murder in the world's streets and shopping malls, slicing people's throats and beheading the innocent. All while our political leaders demean and diminish, in many ways, our own military forces. We know, you know it, terror cells right now are operating in American cities, and that it's only a matter of time, not when, but not if, I should say, but when we are going to be attacked by enemies our own president refuses to name. Political leaders who should be there for us, who we should be able to count on to protect us and our freedom, have failed us. We are the Americans. I look out there and I see all of you, and you know what I'm going to say is true. We are the Americans that grew up learning that a young George Washington could chop down a tree, but he could never tell a lie. The fabric of America was stitched from those simple, powerful words in our Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths. We were taught, all of us growing up, that honesty is the best policy. And from its very beginning, honesty has always been America's best policy. Not anymore. Among the political class and the media class in this country, truth is no longer self-evident. They wake up every day to lie and spin. They weave a fabric of untruth to deceive us only to serve and protect their own careers, their own wealth, their own fame, and believe me, you know it, their own agendas. We, all of us, and Americans just like us all over this great country, shake their heads and say, oh my God, it's got to stop. The whole character of our country is slipping away, and we fear we may never be able to recover. National policies built upon lies lead to national collapse, the end of this country as we know it. We wonder what can be done. All of us. We hope and we pray for someone to save America. There was a time when the news media went out and exposed the liars, outed the schemers, and helped keep government honest. An epidemic of dishonesty has spread to the very highest levels of government, while the national news media either looks the other way or spins the lie as truth to the American people. It's not journalism. It's entertainment. It's ratings. It's celebrity. All aimed at an agenda where a lie holds as much value as the truth. The dishonesty in the air, my gosh, it's so thick, it's become hard for normal people in this country to breathe. Our greatest vulnerability is a national news media in this country that fails to tell the truth. They become, yeah, you know it, we live with it every day, believe me, particularly on the Second Amendment. They become so skilled at lying, so adverse to honesty, that they hate and they demonize anyone who dares tell the truth. It is well said that the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Maybe that's why the political elites and their media enablers hate the National Rifle Association. We tell the truth and we never back down. And that's just the way it's going to be. And that's why, while freedom has been on the decline in so many ways in this country, one freedom has not just been preserved, but it's been expanded. And I'm talking about Second Amendment freedom. We are doing that together. All of you out there have been on the front lines in that fight, and on the front lines, you have to stay. For freedom has never been more threatened than it is today. The next 650 days are the most dangerous days in history for the Second Amendment and for our personal freedom. That's how long President Obama has left. Between now and the day he leaves office, he has 650 days to do whatever he wants to whomever he wants. He disregards the Constitution. He ignores his oath of office. He snubs Congress, and he dismisses the majority will of the American people. For nearly 7 years now, the President has forced his transformation down America's throat, and our nation is choking on it. As he prepares to leave office and leave his final legacy, there's no telling how far President Obama will go to dismantle our freedoms and reshape America into an America that you and I will not even recognize. And when he's finished, he intends to go out with a coronation of Hillary Rodham Clinton. No. Yeah. I have to tell you, 8 years of one demographically symbolic president is enough. 8 years of the Obama-Clinton regime has sent our nation into a tailspin of moral decay, deceit, and destruction. And the NRA will fight like never before, I promise you, for the next 650 days to protect our American freedom and elect a president who shares our values and respects our rights as free people. Leaders who don't respect all of the rights of all Americans don't really trust Americans at all, and they sure don't deserve to lead. No right is more sacred than the individual right to keep and bear arms, to protect ourselves, to protect our families, our communities, and our nation. For that right, the NRA will always fight, and believe me, the fight is coming. Please watch.
You know the threat is real. You sit in meetings with advisors and operatives who tell you there could be Islamic sleeper cells in every major American community. You know the southern border is a welcome mat for terrorists to enter our towns and neighborhoods at will. You know about their plots to kill us in our shopping malls, our sports stadiums, and our office buildings. You won your office by talking like a champion of freedom. Now it's time to act like one. Pass a national right to carry law that guarantees my constitutional right to defend myself, my family, and my fellow Americans anywhere inside our borders. And make sure the enemies of freedom know the power of freedom. No law-abiding American should be forced to face evil with empty hands. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
I'm going to say something here, and I know every one of you in this room agree with it. In these dangerous times, no one should be forced to face evil with bare hands. It's time for national right to carry legislation. It's time for Congress to pass it today. No politician has the right to tell us that we don't have the right to protect ourselves, and no president and no Secretary of State should have the right to dishonor our brave servicemen and women who protect this nation. On behalf of all the heroic men and women who serve this country with distinction, the NRA has a message for President Obama and Mrs. Clinton. Please watch.
The young Americans who raised their hands to fight radical Islamic terror deserve a commander-in-chief as courageous as they are. They volunteered to fight an enemy you won't name, and many gave their limbs and lives to win ground you surrendered. No previous generation of American soldiers, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, or Marines have been sent into harm's way by political leaders so unwilling to define what matters most: victory. These brave patriots have a deeper understanding of America's place and purpose in the world than Washington's so-called elites and their media enablers. And someday soon, in places America liberated then abandoned, like Fallujah, Ramadi, and Mosul, tomorrow's troops may have to fill their brothers' bloody boots. These are my heroes, willing to fight and die for my freedom. And I demand a commander-in-chief worthy of such sacrifice. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Mr. President, you won't say it, but we will, and the majority of Americans believe it. The world is being terrorized by Islamic extremists. And we need a president who will defend our nation by wiping that scourge of terrorism from the face of the planet. The NRA will not sit idly by as our nation faces such great peril. We will not be silent. We are freedom's safest place. And to preserve all of our freedoms, we must get larger, we must get stronger, greater in financial resources, ever more active in our grassroots, on the national airwaves, and on the ground all over this country. That mission starts right here and starts right now and requires your commitment and your work from this day forward. The new ads you've seen today are just the tip of the spear. Between now and the 2016 election, our campaign is going to span the entire country. And to every American who wants to end the erosion of the country, I challenge you to do something, and we need you. Join the NRA. Join with us today. In all of freedom's history, there has never been an organization quite like the National Rifle Association of America. No other people are so alert, so vigilant, so unafraid to take a stand and go out and fight for what's good and right. Freedom's toughest tests have revealed that we, the people of the National Rifle Association, represent the very best of America's strength and of America's character. We stand for our values that we hold dear. Only the NRA has the guts to speak the hard truth time after time when no one else will. And when it comes to defending our American freedom, we fight and we win because no one fights harder, fights tougher, longer, or smarter than the NRA. America needs the NRA now more than ever before. And to the millions and millions of gun owners who want to save our country and restore our American values and freedom, the NRA needs all of you in our ranks like never before. And together, I'll tell you this, we will fight like hell to save America. What we're facing is truly a national emergency. The salvation of our nation hinges on the 2016 elections. For America, we must lead the way. We must win, and we must save our freedom. This is the election. This is our time. No one can sit this out. I need you to help me with this. Talk to everyone when you go back to your cities and your towns and your states. Every single gun owner in the country must join our cause. The road to the White House is by election. It's not by coronation. And at the end of that road, when our next president is elected, we vow on this day that name will not be Hillary Rodham Clinton. And our Bill of Rights will not be Hillary's new server to be wiped from the pages of history. We're going to stand for freedom and fight. The NRA has proven to be the one organization that can consistently win close elections. NRA members and American gun owners must always stand and fight for freedom. We are the men and women of the National Rifle Association of America. We will take back our country, and we will help restore America to its rightful place as the world's greatest nation that has ever existed in the world, the United States of America. Thank you very much, and let's fight for freedom.